So when you come and sit up, make sure that you feel like your seat, maybe your bum is slightly raised up. That can be with a low block or a little bit of blanket. Let's do hands down, so we sort of get this sense of being grounded. So place your palms down either on the knees or the thighs. And just feel like you connect with the energy that kind of comes up, back at you from the ground. Close your eyes, start to slow your breaths down. Feel for the back body, right? So just visualize and pay attention to your back body. It's hard, you can't see it, you have to just think about it. Let's start with the uplift. As you inhale, feel like you lift your low ribs away from the hips and you rise up through the crown of the head, but you don't do this by shrugging your shoulders up. As you exhale, very subtly feel like you draw the tip of your tailbone slightly underneath you. And just keep this sort of rhythm of inhaling length. As you exhale, feel for almost rooting down through your sit bones and slightly, it's ever so subtle, you hardly, it's like a whisper of a thought as you gently lengthen the tailbone. Even as you sit here, what's going on with your hip flexors, right? You know, they're tight. They're already pulling your hip bones slightly forward. Let yourself lengthen away from that juncture of the hips. Uplifting belly button from pubic bone. Soften the upper back. Feel for the shoulder blades lengthening downwards. And release the jaw a little bit, right? So don't grip around the jawline. Take your left hand and place it on your heart center. And take your right hand behind you, just placing the back of your hand on your low back. Let's notice this. As you inhale, feel for a lift through the left hand. As you exhale, feel for length and softness in the right hand. Keep doing this. Do 3 breaths on your own, really filling yourself up with the breath. The intent for this morning's practice revolves around one word, and the word is kindness. When we work into the back, we need to be really kind to ourselves. We need to be kind about, not over pushing, not pressing into places that feel uncomfortably painful. Let's put it that way. I mean, let's be really honest about it. So just kind in terms of, what your body's able to do today, where it's at. It's where it needs to be. Take a last breath in here. Feel for rising up through the crown of the head. And open your mouth and sigh it out. Gently remove hands from the torso and open your eyes, come back to the room. Brilliant. We're going to start in Baddha Konasana. So if you've got something underneath your bottom, maybe keep it there. Put the soles of your feet together. Remember that your feet can be quite far away from the crotch, but they are pressing towards each other. It's not a really kind of grippy press. It's a touch where you're just conscious of the soles of the feet. Put your hands on your thighs, give them a little wiggle side to side, and already notice when you do that, the grip and how pulling in through the low belly feels like it's safe. I'd like you to put your hands on your side ribs, take an inhale, and lift out of the hips, but still keep them soft. It's hard, I know. I'm like really fighting that. But now take your fingertips behind you, press them into the mat so you lift your chest up. That gives you some support. Now you can let the hips go a little more. Let's do some Kapalabhati, skull shining breath. Let's get the low back opening up by softening the belly. Take an inhale. Let everything come out the mouth, side out. Inhale halfway, start to pump vigorously the belly inwards as you blow out of the nose. Looks like this. So you retract the belly as you pump out of the nose. Keep the chest lifted. Find a rhythm that works for you. I encourage you to close your eyes, actually. It's good to block those off. So you can bring your focus into yourself and not worry about what it looks like. As you get busy pumping your tummy in and out, can you let your hip flexors go? Squeeze gently, elbows towards each other, lengthen the belly area. Do 10 more pumps wherever you've got to. My tea is gurgling around, let me tell you. And then take a really long breath in and a really big sigh out. Start to walk your hands forward. Either grab the front of the shins or maybe place your fingertips in front of the feet. Notice immediately again, if you could see yourself from side on, it feels quite nice just to do that. I'd like you to lift. This is where holding the feet is quite useful. Pull yourself lengthways. Take an inhale. As you exhale, forward fold, maybe with a little sway side to side. I feel that feels so good for me in the low back. Okay, work into all the kind of gnarly bits. And then just keep your breath with you, right? So don't lose the breath. Every time you inhale, feel for reach upwards. As you exhale, soften yourself forwards. You can let the belly go. You don't have to obsess about the flatness of your back. Just know that it's got some uplift as you forward fold. You let the sit bones almost tip themselves out behind you, like they poke out the back of you. Let the chin soften to chest, release the jaw. Hip flexors, let them go. And then inhale, draw yourself all the way back up, really slowly. Take hands to outside edge of thighs, press them together. And take your legs out in front of you for a little shake out. Maybe a thump into those outer edge of hips. Let's do Janushirasana. Extend your right leg out to the side, tuck left heel to groin. Feet, feel. The thing about active feet is it gives you this kind of sense of purpose through the places that make connections downwards. And they lift you up, right? If you're very floppy in the legs and the feet, it feels so easy to do this. As soon as you drive downwards, you feel the sense of, oh, okay, I could lift. Hand to inner edge of right leg. Let's do a neck release. Hover the hand to just above the floor. Roll the shoulder back and down. Take a long breath. Lift your belly button away from pubic bone. And then start to soften towards the extended leg as you let the head go. But press your middle left finger down and away. Feel for a little weightiness in the back of the head as you slightly roll your skull behind you. So you tend to feel the poses where you're tight, right? It's obviously a neck opener, neck release. Interestingly, when I'm in this pose right now, I feel tight in the lower left side of my back. So listen to your body, right? It's giving you lots of really useful information. That's okay. Wherever you feel tight, place your breaths there with a lot of attention. And then sigh it out. Let's do a chest opener. Bring the hand up, reach for the ceiling, put a micro bend in the elbow, draw the arm behind you. Feel for reaching into space as you open the chest. Neck is still soft. Give yourself the support you need by pressing downwards through the legs and feet. What happens in breath 4 or 5? That's the interesting bit. Where do you start to kind of chat to yourself in a way that's unhelpful? Where have you lost connection with the breath? Wrap, top arm, come for a full side bend, right? So feel like there's a little softness in the shoulder. Reach it up and away so you get the length, but then let the head soften. And notice if you're overreaching, right? You're really kind of going for it. Back off. Check your dosage, move back and just feel the breath instead. Sometimes over-efforting is a sign of numbing out. It's another version of it, right? Because you don't have to feel so much when you're really working hard, because all you can feel is the hardness. That's really different from sitting with sensation. I have to tell that myself a lot, so don't worry, that's why I'm saying it, right? Float your hand up, reach slowly, gently. It's taken me years to kind of move away from that, right? You know, the kind of, that one. Let's do the other side. Change your legs. Place your hand to inner edge of left thigh, neck release. Hover the hand, roll the shoulder. Need softness there. Let the head soften to the side. Feel the neck. Right side of neck might be tighter. Activate the edge of the right foot. Take an inhale. Lift your belly button away from pubic bone. Feel like you slightly lean back into the pose, like you let it take you. It's not the worst thing that can happen. Separate your teeth, jaw is relaxed. On your next inhale, reach the arm up. Take a lengthening breath into side ribs. Put a micro bend in the elbow and then reach the arm behind you. Work into a space that feels like you get the pec stretch. There's a sort of rolling open of your heart center as you do this pose. You reveal a bit of yourself to the front of the room. Can't hide it anymore. Make sure you're not compensating around the jaw. Side bend, wrap it out. Reach this arm, slightly softening the shoulder socket. Extend into your right side ribs. Breathe in a way that lifts space into the waistline. Both sides of the waistline, actually. Not just the right side, but the left side. Shoulders soften downwards, head is relaxed. Press through the big toe pad of your extended left foot. That's interesting. Inner line of leg fires up, that's helpful. And then float this arm up, don't rush it. Cup side of your head, be very kind to yourself as you come up. Amazing, take the legs out in front of you, shake them out. Let's do some abdominals. Let's do a little medley with the roll. So grab your roll. If you don't have a proper roll, use a brick. It works perfectly fine. Place the roll between the inner thighs. We'll start with 3-part twisting abs. So the feet in this are flaunted, right, to start with. We're halfway through, we're going to flex them, but we start with the flaunt. My feet are chopped off, so that's what I'm showing you. Legs straight up. If your hamstrings are tight, put a micro bend in the knees. Interlace hands, place behind base of head, wrap it out. Feel for gently pressing the prop between the inner thighs. Take an inhale. Lift your head and shoulders partially up. Hold the breath. Squeeze prop again. As you exhale, reach elbows to left thigh. Curl the tailbone. Press through the pads of the toes upwards. Inhale, come back to center. Full breath. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. Hold your breath. Squeeze prop. Internally rotating thighs. Exhale, reach to right thigh, curl tailbone, subtle move. Wrap up through the right shoulder blade, press belly downwards. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop. Reach both elbows up the center line, curl your tailbone. Feet go straight up to ceiling, press belly down. Inhale, come back to center, full breath. Hold breath, squeeze prop, exhale, reach to left thigh, curl tailbone up, wrap and lift through the left tricep, press belly downwards. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold breath, squeeze prop, feel the inner thigh muscles working. Reach to right thigh as you exhale, curl tailbone, lift a little higher through the right elbow tip, belly down. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold breath, squeeze prop. As you exhale, reach straight up the center line. Curl tailbone. Feel for another press onto the prop as you lengthen your thigh bones up. Inhale, soften it all off. Just have a pause for a moment. Flex your feet. Do this slowly, because otherwise you'll get a cramp. You can do. So this feels really different. Driving the heels now straight up to ceiling. Take a big breath in, lift head and shoulders partially off the floor. Hold breath. Squeeze prop, internally rotating thighs. As you exhale, reach elbows to left thigh. Curl tailbone, driving your heels upwards, pull belly down. Inhale, come back to center, full breath. Hold breath, squeeze prop, internally rotate thighs. As you exhale, reach to right thigh, curl tailbone. Drive upwards through the heels, wrap your shoulders. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold breath, squeeze prop. As you exhale, reach up the center line. Flexed feet drive skywards. Lift your upper back. Do not yank on your neck. Inhale back to center now. I know my inner thighs are beginning to quiver. We're going to do one more round. Hold the breath, squeeze prop. Exhale, reach to left thigh. Drive upwards as you curl tailbone. Lift your gaze. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold the breath, squeeze the prop. Last thing you want to do, reach to right thigh with elbows, curl tailbone. Lift a little more through the right tricep. Press your belly downwards. Inhale back to center, full breath. Squeeze prop, curl tailbone, reach up the center line. Feel for another squeeze of the prop as you lift your elbows. Release it all out. Oh, you'll be glad to know you get the feet down, head and shoulders down. Just momentarily take the prop from between the inner thighs. Place your hands on your low belly, breathe. So we sort of overwork the inner thigh muscles. So they might be feeling a little kind of fizzy. Now, just feel it for a moment, this connection between your pelvic bowl, your low back, and your legs, right? It's like they suddenly kind of made connections. Let's do bridge pose. We're going to take the prop back between the inner thighs. Heels up to the butt, reset hands. Press through your feet. Start to lift your pelvis all the way up. Press down through the bottom of your feet, soles of the feet, all four corners active. Here's my advice to you. The prop is there, but you're not going to really squeeze onto it. So you kind of, 100% work that. It's like a gentle kind of press against the prop, just to notice what that does to your legs, how it lifts them a little bit, engages them. Because now you get to use other muscles. You get to engage your glutes, your underside of buttocks. front of the thighs, shin muscles. Spread your breath through your front belly now, lifting to the space between the shoulder blades. Make the jaw and the neck soften, feel full, shaking them out. 3 more breaths, just feel for the rise upwards as you inhale. As you exhale, feel like you drive your glutes towards the back of the knees. So you really connect to the butt. One last breath, big one in. Firmly tuck your tailbone as you exhale, very slowly lower top back, mid back, low back, come all the way back down to the ground. When you get there, really make the connection to the lumbar spine, flatten it out. Take the prop from between your inner thighs, no more of that just yet. Roll onto one side. Press yourself slowly up to seated, no rushing. Neck stays soft. Amazing, come onto all fours. Let's do dolphin, just plain vanilla dolphin. Let's have a feel for that. Bring your forearms down to the mat. Make sure your elbows are stacked under your shoulders to notice whether you've got that right. Grab a handful of bicep, pivot. Hands spread wide. Before you do anything, it's almost like a dolphin, puppy. Just press your forearms really firmly down into the mat and feel like you could dent the mat, right? And it's the whole of the forearm. It's really interesting when you do that because you automatically press up through the mid-upper back. Shake out the head. Feel your pecs turn on slightly as you draw energetically elbows towards each other. So that is interesting, right? That kind of pressing into the floor. Don't forget it. Now curl your toes. Engage your core. Straighten your legs. First thing that happens is we tend to lose sensation of our brain, right? We just disconnect slightly. Lift up through the butt, so get yourself in the zone. Feel for pressing the whole forearm into the floor again and lifting your whole rib cage upwards, out of the shoulder girdle. Imagine you've got the roll or the block between your inner thighs. Slightly curl your inner thighs onto your imaginary prop and see what happens. Pressing a little more through the feet, lift your tailbone again. Wrap your shoulder blades around the sides of your ribs. Feel that connection to serratus muscle in the armpit. And then very slowly lower down. Come to your knees. Come and sit back on your heels. Take your arms up. Let's do unlocking the shoulders here without the prop. So feel like your eyes and elbows pressed together. Draw your shoulders back on an inhale. Slide them down. Wrap from the underside forward. Press your forearms away from the face. Let's do that again. Inhale, draw back. Slide down. Wrap and press away. Feel for like reaching away. Neck is relaxed. Last one. Inhale. Shoulders back. They go down. As you press forwards, squeeze your pec muscles on a little more. And release. Roll it out. Let's do flash prep. Let's feel that wrapping sensation. Place the left forearm on the mat. Elbows stacked under shoulder. Take the right hand back towards the knee. As you inhale, lift into your upper back. Feel the right elbow in particular draw inwards. Curl toes, straighten the legs. Notice if you've got a lot of weight on the left forearm, push into your left armpit upwards and press through the right hand. Place weight in the right foot. If you wish to, raise the left leg up. Flash prep with a leg lifted. Spread the toes of the left foot and push them to the ceiling. Shake out your head. One more huge breath as you exhale. Scoop the belly, lower the left leg down. Come to kneeling. Take a little pause pose, opening the chest area. Interlace hands, open your heart center up and away. Notice the shoulder alignment. If the shoulders shrug up, really work on drawing them down and feeling like the crown of the head reaches up. Take a breath right through your front body. And then release, roll the shoulders out. Let's do the other side, right forearm down, pressing really firmly through it. Take the left hand pretty much just in front of the left knee. Wrap the elbow in. So you've got one chaturanga arm, one dolphin arm. Inhale into upper back, wrap it out. Curl toes, straighten the legs. Your feet are quite widely separated. Make sure you put weight through the left hand and draw the left elbow in. Shake out the head. Option to raise the right leg slowly. Don't rush it. It'll cause a big wobble. Reach when you get the leg up through the big toe of your right foot like it's desperate to touch the ceiling. Neck is relaxed. Shake out the head slowly. Exhale, scoop the belly. Feel the connection to your core as the right leg lowers. Knees to mat, both hands forward, step into down dog. Feel for wrapping your elbows onto an imaginary beach ball. Pedal out the feet slowly, lengthening the backs of the calves. And then start to close the gap between hands and feet. Walk your feet towards your hands. Hip distance apart, bend the knees. Take an inhale, lengthen the belly forwards away from the pubic bone. And then maybe even wiggle your hips and feel like you drape your tummy across your thighs as you hang in a forward fold. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Give yourself a sway side to side. Get rid of some junk, right? Offload in forward folds, always. You know, sigh it out. Spew it out, frankly. Release the hands, soften the knees. Place both hands on the front of the thighs. Traction them down as you press yourself up to standing. Really nice way to come to standing for your back. Let's do Agni Sara in horse stance. So step across the long side of your mat widely, feet turned out. Feet are about just over 3 feet apart. Sink the bottom down, feel for that length through the tailbone. Place hands either in the hip socket or mid-thigh, lock out the arms. So your shoulders shrug up to ears and you feel like your bottom gets to hang down, takes a bit of pressure off the legs. If you've got a very tight waistband on your leggings, roll it down. You don't have to lift your top up. Take an inhale through the nose. Blow everything out of the mouth. Hold the breath, don't breathe. Suck belly up and under into the vacuum of your low ribs, and then flap it in and out without breathing. Release belly, take an inhale. Blow everything out of the mouth. Hold breath, don't breathe. Suck up and under, vacuum. Then release belly, keep pulling it in and out. Release, inhale. Last one, blow out of the mouth. Hold breath, scoop and suck up. Lengthen tailbone, tuck chin, flap your belly. Release the belly, take an inhale. Start to press through your feet and straighten your legs. Heel toe your feet back together. And then come and stand at the front of your mats for suns. Have available at the front of the mat a roll, a strap and a block. Gosh, all the props. If you've got music you like to play on a playlist, please press it. So just standing here in Tadasana, put your thumbs on your back of sacrum. So feel like they're pressing on the little bony bits. Just encourage that press down as you lift your ribs upwards. Look forwards, just start to gently press the mid-shoulder blades together. Let's get that sense of reaching out of yourself. And then release, let the arms hang down. Take an inhale, arms reach skywards. Exhale, forward fold, hang down. Lunge, step the left leg behind you, knee to mat. Take a breath in here, lift up out of yourself. Feel for fingertips reaching. Exhale, plank, hands to mat, step back. Hands are spread wide, take a breath in, scoop the belly. As you exhale, very slowly lower the knees, lower the chest, modified chaturanga. Hands slightly forward of shoulders. Inhale, press your ribs through the arms. As you exhale, lengthen the belly away from the pubic bone. Reset hands, down dog. Lunge, left leg forwards, right knee down. Take a breath, arms extend. Feel for a little more length through the right hip flexor. Exhale, float hands down, forward fold. Root to rise, come up to standing, pressing through active feet. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold, hang down. Back of the neck is soft. Right leg lunges, step it behind you, knee down. As you inhale, feel the top of your right foot press to the mat. Reach upwards through your fingers. Float hands down, plank, step back. Take an additional breath. Push the floor away as you inhale. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, graze your biceps to ribs. Inhale, low cobra. Lengthen your front ribs up and away. Feel the tops of your feet touch the mat. As you exhale, more length, ribs reach forwards, reset, down dog. Right leg lunges, step it to front of mat. Inhaling, soften the front of the left hip flexor as you extend the ribs. Float to forward fold, left foot joins right. On an inhale, press upwards to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again, left side, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold, hang down. Lunge, left leg behind you, knee to mat. Take a breath here, arms reach up. We're pausing for 3 breaths. Notice your shoulders, wrap them and then reach up. Where can you go now with this left hip? Maybe there's a little more space to sink, but please remember your butt, right? Your left glute and your lengthening tailbone to lift up as you also lengthen downwards. So you don't just crush into the low back, you feel the connection to lengthen. Hands float to frame right foot, step back into plank. Inhale, push the floor away, scoop your armpits up. Knees lower as you exhale, chest lowers, slow it down. Low cobra, inhale. Feel for reaching the front collarbones up and away. As you exhale, draw yourself forwards, reset, down dog. Left leg lunges, right knee to mat. Take a breath here, arms extend. Feel for wrapping it out and finding the space in your right front of hip. As you do this, engage a little more squeeze of your right buttock and feel like you inhale and lift front ribs up away from the hips. Release the jaw, float hands to frame left foot, forward fold. Exhale out. Inhale, root to rise. Feel your legs connect right into the pelvis. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, arms extend. Forward fold, hang down. Shake out the head. Right leg lunges, knee to mat. Take a breath in here, arms reach. Sink through the left thigh. Take your left hand onto the left thigh and encourage it to move forwards. Half brain cradle. Right hand reaches, place hand behind the head. Right elbow wraps in. Feel the space in the armpit as you inhale. Lengthen through the right tricep. And then just let the head softly be cradled in the right hand. Here's what I encourage you to do. Feel the top of your right foot and shin press through the mat. As you do that, your right buttock will engage. It will be very helpful and supportive. With your bottom turned on, inhale, lift your right ribs away from the hip and open up. Inhale, float back up, plank, step back. Take a breath. Feel for lifting the belly, tucking tailbone. Knees lower, chest lowers all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, scoop it out. Exhale, down dog. Right leg lunges forward, left knee down. Arms extend as you inhale upwards. Find a little more softness through the left hip. Take right hand to right thigh. Feel for reaching it forwards, right? So you get a bit of space. Take an inhale, left arm extends. Cradles back of head, wrap it out. Lift up through the left armpit. As you seek out this length, support yourself with pushing the left foot and shin down and squeezing the left buttock on. Now you can lift again. Reach the ribs upwards. And then just let the head soften. There's a spot in the middle of your back, somewhere around the bra line, which you need to get over, right? You need to stop gripping there. Inhale, float back up. Hands frame right foot, forward fold. Come up to standing, inhaling all the way. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause. Take your thumbs back on your sacrum. Feel for a little press down as you gently lengthen the tailbone. Now inhale, telescope ribs up. Let's go for a little more of a back bend, right? Start to shuffle your shoulders. Feel like you lift the front ribs and just hang back. You don't have to hang the head. You can have chin tucked to chest. Keep pressing middle points of shoulder blades together. But please tuck your butt under, right? And then slowly inhale, come up. It's really subtle. Chair pose, sink down low. Exhale, deep forward fold, hang down. Halfway lift, hands on the shins or the mat, lengthen the back body. Step or hop into plank, hands down, legs back. Take a breath here, push the floor away, feel for a little scoop into upper back. Engage core as you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, modified chaturanga. Low cobra, inhale, lengthen it out. Feel for the pull of front ribs away from the floor. And then keep lengthening them as you come back down. Hands reset, down dog. Left leg steps to front of mat for warrior two, archer. So when you come through to warrior two, press through the front left thigh. Outside edge of right foot is firm. You might need a strap, right? But if not, you take the left arm up, float it to center of shoulder blades. Feel for a little loosening off. Right hand in a half bind. Either grab fingertips, grab the strap, or clothing, and notice if you're crushing the back of yourself. Separate your hands enough so that you can be really upright and beautifully kind of open to the front of the room. And just breathe, right? It's such a simple thing to do, so complex with the bind. Get a sense of the back of your heart center and breathe into there. way to make this pose a lot kinder to yourself is to double up the engagement of your legs, right? Inner, outer thighs, what's going on? Press through the edges of the feet. And then gently release. Extended warrior variation with chest opener. Float left elbow to left thigh. Feel like you lift up out of the armpit as you sweep the right arm upwards. Let the head go to start with. Micro bend an elbow, draw the arm open. There's a chest opener here, which is just what we did when we were seated. Feel for the breath in the pec. Notice the shoulder blades. Take both of them and slide them behind you away from the ears. Press it really firmly through the right little toe. Let's completely flip it around. Float the right hand down. It lands to the inner edge of left foot. Come onto the ball of right foot for easy twisting lunge. Float the left arm to ceiling. Reach the fingertips away and spread your wings again. This time lifting some space into right armpit. Don't disengage your butt, turn it on more. Both buttocks squeeze as you press your legs apart from each other. Float the left hand down. Step back into plank, take a breath. Scoop the belly, tuck tailbone as you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, low cobra, reach your front ribs through the arms. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to do boat pose, and we're going to use the prop, the block between the inner ankles. So you've got to get a block, stick it between your inner ankles, because we're going to remind ourselves to use our legs a little more, and lie back down. That's the hard bit, coming back down to earth. Tummy on the mat, looking at the mat with a neutral neck. Take your hands behind you, interlace. Start to engage your inner ankles onto the prop, lengthen your legs. Take a breath in, lift feet, lift chest. As you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Reach through the balls of the feet, engaging inner thighs. 2 more breaths. Inhale, balloon into upper back. Exhale, feel for reaching the prop away. Squeeze your sit bones underneath you as you open your chest. Last breath, inhale. Release everything down. Hands under the forehead. Just take a breath here. Just let it settle. It's a tough one, that, because you need to really pull the tailbone down. And that's why we use the leg line to do that, right? So curl toes under, come back into down dog. Kick the block off the back of your mat if it's in the way. Step your right foot forwards for warrior 2 with archer. Front foot straight, back foot 90 degrees. Sink through the right thigh. Right arm reaches, place it to center of shoulders. Half bind with the left arm, make the connection. Soften your gaze forwards and feel your breath begin to rev up. So it just gets deeper, the breath, rather than shallower. You're aware of that, right? You're aware of ribs opening in a 360 barrel-like configuration. There can be a tendency in this pose to stick your butt out behind you, right? Especially if you're quite mobile in the back. I'd like you to consciously now draw your tailbone underneath you and engage both of your glutes a little more. Now take an inhale and telescope the ribs upwards. Yes, that's a little more stable. Release the hands, unbind yourself. Float right elbow onto right knee thigh. Chest opener, inhale, left arm extends. Press out of the right armpit, float the left arm behind you. Let the neck go. Feel for lifting across the collarbones in space. And then just see what would happen if you allowed both shoulder blades to slide downwards. How much space there is around the neckline. Firmly tuck your left glute underneath you. Left arm cartwheels to the mat. Come onto the ball of the back left foot. Easy twisting lunge, right arm sweeps to ceiling. Push through the left hand, open yourself up the other way. Head is relaxed. Keep your legs more active than they can be, right? It's slightly over focus on the legs. So you drive the feet into the mats, feeling like you're ripping it slightly apart. Then you can soften from the waist up, roll into the twist. Right hand floats to mat, step back into plank, take a breath. Take a full inhale here. Let's pause in plank actually. Separate your feet a little bit. Push through your hands, slightly scoop your armpits out, shake out the head. You need a lot of core, right? Don't let the low back dip. Take all of the dip out of L3. Tuck your belly button towards the ceiling. Drive a little energy through the super butt that you've got and tuck your butt under. Now the knees lower. Now the chest lowers as you exhale out, grazing biceps to ribs. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, come down. Come onto your knees a moment to grab your roll. So whatever version of a roll you've got, get it. Place it on the mat. You're going to lie over it in the fleshy part of your belly. Stage one, just let it in. Angela, I'm sorry if you haven't done this for a while. Turn your head to one side, just soften your cheekbone to the mat as you breathe into the back body. So the gurgling and the sort of pulsing, just don't worry about that. Think about how amazing it is to let the roll in, to decompress, to traction the low back, right? It flattens it out in a way that is really hard to achieve without the roll. Take your hands forward of your shoulders as wide as the mat. Let's do cobra over the roll. As you inhale, feel the tops of your feet touch the floor. Curl pubic bone around the base of the roll and lift your chest so your ribs rise up away from it. Pause. If all you've got here is a lot of weight through the hands, start to draw your shoulder blades together and lengthen, this is really important, the inner line of the legs. So feel like someone's got hold of your feet and is pulling them away from you. Now take an inhale, re-lift your ribs upwards, spread your breath into the chest. Feel a distinctive tuck under through the tailbone and the glutes as you pull pubic bone to belly button. Still lengthening the top body. As you exhale, drape with length yourself back over the roll. And lie over it for 3 breaths. Let it all settle down, right? Anything that you did with the back there that felt a little woo, you turn the dial down again. You get this sense of kindness to yourself, where you just push it, but not over push it. You engage with the pose, you don't kind of have a fight with it. Hands under shoulders, curl toes, step back into down dog. Tricked you with my chatty chat to stay over the roll longer. Step your left foot to front of mat for warrior 1. Back foot turned out slightly, front foot straight, hands on hips. Press your right hip forwards. Let's do a back traction here. So the thumbs go back on the sacrum. We've done this a few times. Notice here, it's really tempting in Warrior One to really hyperextend, right? Because you feel like it helps the hip. You just press into that little dip in your back. Still keep the hip open, but slightly just pull through the buttock. It's minuscule, right? Just pressing through the hip flexor instead. Take a breath in, extend your ribs upwards. Shuffle shoulder blades together. Feel like you're about to limbo dance. And then just lift your chest. So it's tiny mini back bend. Nothing really looks like it's happening. I want you just to feel your breath running through the front ribs. I want you to notice the effect of length in the front body to help you open up the back. Maybe after a few, you settle into that leaning over a high back chair sensation. No need to have the head hanging back. In fact, I've started tucking my chin to chest more because I think leaning the head back feels good, but it deceives you, right? You feel like you're really back bending, but actually you're not really focusing on the back. One more breath. And then release, come out of this. High lunge, so foot reset. Hop onto the back of the ball of the right foot. Again, press that dip out of your low back by driving through the hip flexor and tucking sit bone underneath you. Arms reach up, wrap it out. It's going to get a little kind of excitable now. Press a little more through your right glute and then lower your right knee to hover just above the floor. So you're really engaging the thigh muscles and the buttocks. With all of this going on, can you still take an inhale and lift your ribs away from the hips? Lion's breath it out, feels good. And then release, float the hands down. Pigeon, but with a high position. Take your left foot, tuck it towards the groin, left knee to edge of mat. Listen up. You might need a block here, or two blocks can be useful actually. Have a block near the front of mat. Walk your right leg as far back as it will go. Top of foot to mat. If anyone has knee pain, you have to make the adjustment of rolling onto your buttock and bringing the left leg into a right angle. That's okay, right? Otherwise, you're squared off. We're not going to fold forwards. We're actually going to press fingertips or using the block, press hands into that prop to lift the chest up. Notice, so immediately I do this, I think, oh, my low back doesn't like this because I haven't even bothered to turn my buttocks on. Start to engage your right glute, pull it underneath you, and then inhale, lengthen from L3 up as you lengthen downwards from L3. Slightly different sensation when you engage the other muscles, right? Press the top of your right thigh, shin, foot into the floor a lot. Then lift up. Slowly lower down. Hands on the mat. Curl the right toes under. Step back gently, kindly into down dog. Pedal out the feet. Right foot forwards, warrior one. Back foot turned out, rise up to standing. Draw the left hip forwards, press through the right thigh and tuck your left glute underneath you. Hands on sacrum, back traction, press down. Encourage more length and then inhale, lift your front body away from the hips. Shoulder blades squeeze together. There's a little shuffle out. Hang the head back maybe initially so you get the sensation. Then draw the chin forwards, but keep the shoulders drawing back. Every inhale, your challenge is to lengthen your solar plexus more. As you press your thumbs downwards, it's really interesting to do this without, because it just feels like so little is happening, but then it all happens. Come out of this slowly. Change the footing. Come onto ball of back left foot. Retuck sit bones, arms extend up. High lunge. Feel the connections of both feet, right? Especially the front right foot. The thigh is active. Retuck again through left hip and lower the left knee to hover just above the floor. Squeezing underside of buttock. Wrap the shoulders. Notice where your shoulders are. Jaw is relaxed. Lion's breath it out. Come out of this slowly. Hands to mat, knee down. Pigeon. Right foot to groin, right knee to edge of mat. Staying high, walk the left leg as far back as it will go. Feel for that situation where you lift your chest, but you feel that you keep, and you have to really think about this, the tucking downwards of the lumbar spine. I find it really helpful to press actively through the left leg a lot. Flare the collarbones through the chest. Neck is relaxed. Edge of right foot presses into the floor. And slowly, hands come down. Top of mat, curl the left toes under, step back into down dog, take a breath. Really nice to your back legs, yeah? Pedal out the feet. Last vignette, step your left foot forwards for warrior one, brain cradle. So we've been here, done that, half, right? Hips are squared, we know warrior one, we feel this opening in the right front of body, tuck it under. Both arms reach, interlace. Hands behind the head, wrap elbows. Take a long breath, lengthen the armpits up. Both of them. Feel the telescoping sensation through the ribs. Let the weight of your head be cradled in your hand. Don't dump into your low back. Pull underneath yourself by tucking right buttock. Keep that steady lengthening breath we did in back traction through the front body. Without length, you cannot back bend. Release, inhale, float yourself up. Bring your right knee to the mat for lunge back bend with a strap. So you'll need a strap with a little loop in it. If you don't have a proper yoga strap, I can give you an alternative. Sorry, Monique's now having to unravel her roll. Never mind. You put the strap around the top of the right foot. Join hands on the strap and start by doing this. Just start to sink into your right hip where it goes to. It's ideally, you don't want to be on the top of the right knee. You want to be sort of rolling onto the fleshy part on top of it. Hands grab the strap, but they don't go too far down because your elbows squeeze together. And you lift your triceps out of your armpits directly upwards. You kick your foot back and you roll your breath through the front body. So it's like this dancer sensation, this sort of full, beautiful extension right into the heart center. Even here, you can squeeze your right buttock on a little bit. Release, come out of it. Twisting lunge. This is going to feel quite nice. It's really useful to do twists after a bit of back stuff. Straighten yourself up, take an inhale, right arm reaches. Lengthen, twist, right elbow onto left thigh. Go slowly, go kindly. Float the left arm up, place it on top of right hand. Breathe length into your side ribs and roll yourself open. Back of the head feel soft. V-shape your tummy away from the left thigh. Keep breathing. If you're wobbling, move the left foot wider. And then very Really slowly come out of this. Shuffle the strap off your foot because it's probably still there. Hands to mat, step back into plank. Take a breath, scoop the belly. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, down dog. But grab your roll because we're going to come back down to lie on the roll. So place your roll back under the tummy area and lie down over it. Come completely forwards, letting the roll in. Just feel for that. Feel for that delicious gurgling. Start to like it rather than hate it. Where's your breath? Where does your breath get stuck here? Sigh it out. Hands forward of shoulders as wide as the mat. Cobra push-ups over the roll. Make a connection to the inner line of your legs. Lengthen them. As you inhale, curl pubic bone around the base of the roll. Lift your chest. Spread yourself open. Exhale, lower down. Let the roll back in. 3 more like this. Inhale. Draw your front ribs through the arms. Feel like you lengthen the ribs up away from the roll. Tuck buttocks underneath you. Exhale. Roll back down. 2 more. Inhale. Tops of feet are active. Lengthen the body. Exhale. Draw your ribs away from the top of the roll. Last one. Inhale. Feel for squeezing midpoint of shoulder blades together. Exhale. Lower down. Lie here for 3 breaths. How willing are you to completely soften? Hands under shoulders, curl toes, down dog. Let's do that last vignette on the right side. Step your right foot forward, warrior 1, brain cradle. Come all the way up. Hips square off, drive a little more energy through the right thigh. Feel the outside edge of left foot activate. Both arms extend, interlace. Hands behind the head, wrap elbows inwards. Take a long inhale, lengthening the front ribs. Let the weight of your head hang back in the cradle of your hands. Engage a firm connection to left buttock. Every inhale, an opportunity to lift the waistline longer. Legs are connected and very supportive. Take the support. Soften the jaw. Inhale, draw yourself back up. Release the hands, lower the left knee down. Give it some padding if you need it. Loop your strap around the left foot. Sink a little more into the left front of hip and feel for walking your hands down the strap. Elbows wrap in and they lift up directly above the shoulders, triceps extend. Feel for slightly lifting the chest and kicking left foot away from the butt. As you reach into your armpits, it's like you lift out of yourself. Now your front body gets to super lengthen. Heart center opens up, feel it. And then release. Come out of it slowly. Straighten up a little bit. Walk the right foot back. You're level. Twisting lunge. Inhale, left arm reaches, make a fist. Rotate. Float hand onto elbow, rather onto thigh, let the head soften. Top hand places on the fist, push away. Feel a little lean back. Connect again to your glutes, right? Don't let them go lazy on you now. Neck is relaxed. Where does your breath want to explore? What's tight? Decompress, unroll, come out of this. Last bit with the roll. If you don't have a solid roll, grab a brick at this stage. Let's place this thing back between the inner thighs. Cobra push-ups with the roll between the legs or the brick. Lie down on your tummies. The prop is just, at the top of the inner thighs. Lie down on your tummy, hands forward as shoulders, slightly as wide as the mat. Listen up. Let's work out how the inner thighs are really helpful. Squeeze onto the prop, lengthen your legs. Take an inhale, lift your ribs away from the pubic bone as you come into low cobra. Squeeze the prop a lot, exhale, lower down. Inhale, squeeze prop, use it to engage length through the front body. Reach your chest forwards. Exhale, more length on the way down. Squeeze your inner thighs really firmly onto the prop. Inhale, lift your chest. Keep squeezing the prop. Exhale, lengthen forwards. And then just lie down on your tummy. Turn your head to one side, let your feet, legs relax. Take a vast breath into your back body. Feel it open up. Right, you press into the spaces between the ribs. And then very slowly, roll onto your backs and remove the prop from wherever it is. Just take it to the side. Let's just do back release pose before Shavasana. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Hook your left foot on top of right knee. Reach through the gap you've created. Draw your right thigh towards you. Soften your shoulders completely. I used to hold the front of my shin. But actually, if I hold the back of my thigh, I can have a lot more softness in my shoulders, and that is good. It's not that I can't hold the shin, it's that I don't need to. As you draw your right thigh towards you, press your active left foot into the top of the knee and push your left knee away from you. Let the jaw feel really soft here. This is hip and low back stretch, not jaw clamping time. Feel your sacrum widen as you take an inhale. You're pressing it through the mat. Release the right thigh, swap sides, hook your right foot on top of left knee. Reach through to grab your left thigh, draw it towards you. Feel for complete softness around the shoulders and the neckline. As you draw the left knee towards you, press your right knee away from you with an active right foot. Neck stays soft. Feel for a spread of space across the low back. And then release. Shavasana. Let's come into it. If you feel like that was all a little kind of overactive on the back, you might want to do Shavasana with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. If you've got a bolster to place under your knees, that'd be lovely. Legs up the wall, also a good option. Otherwise, if you're lying flat, just take a moment to retuck your tailbone, right? So feel like you flatten your sacrum a lot before you settle down. Close your eyes and feel your breath move to a more normal pattern of breathing. Start to very slowly deepen your breaths. Bring a little movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Reach your arms up above you and point toes away from yourself. Feel the newfound length as you breathe in through the front body. And then hug your knees to your chest, a little roll side to side. Extend an arm up above you, doesn't matter which, and roll onto one side. Just pause. Keep your eyes shut. Notice this ability to stay present and in your body right until the end of class. How good it feels just to breathe and lie and do, nothing but be in the stillness. This opportunity to absorb your practice. Very slowly press yourself up to seated. Hands come into prayer at the center of your chest. There's a gentle press of thumbs into your sternum. Lift yourself with your breath upwards. My soul honors your soul. I honor the light, love, beauty, truth, and kindness within you, because it is also within me. In sharing these things, there is no distance and no difference between us. We are the same, we are one. Namaste. Thank you very much, my Friday ladies. Nice to see you all. Well done, everyone.